Hello everyone and welcome back to my Settlement Mode playthrough of Fallout Wasteland Warfare, the newest episode, and as always we're starting with the settlement phase, although we're holding on to a few caps this time just in case things go pear-shaped today due to the nature of the mission / quest. We do have some stuff to do though. We have a free food card to draw, so I'm just going to do that real quick to add to our potential more beer. Why? I keep finding alcohol when I do this. Wasn't it like bourbon last time or whiskey or something? Okay, well, that'll get added into the potential things we either have to keep in New Hope or take with us. That's from our cooking station plus crop field. We have 2 Explorer cards to do, and we have 1 reroll thanks to our scout cap. So we have a legit reroll if we don't like the first option, so let's look at that first. Abandoned mine. Whilst old, some items are still buried in the tunnel collapse. To pull an item from the rubble, test strength and then test luck +4. If strength is a success, draw 1. If luck is a fail, gain damage, and trash item drawn if strength successful can attempt up to 3 times. I can't do this because I can't have the sole survivor starting this mission wounded. It would end way too badly based on what we're going to be doing today. I can't take the chance. What is this? His strength is 7 though. And his luck is... No, his luck is 4. His luck is terrible. No, we'll just say we're not doing that one. Will I re-roll it? Let's re-roll it. Why not? Oops. Let's re-roll it and try this one. Weather Observatory. Read weather data and pass it on to traders. Use any 1 item structure an extra time during the settlement phase. Or test to draw some food and or others. Sure, I'll just draw another food. Why not? Okay, we can do that one. I'll draw another food right now off camera. Right, here, please don't be beer. Apparently the crop fields we have exclusively grow alcohol. Who knew? Okay. And let's do for our second one, because that was a reroll. Vault 22. After picking up an item on the box, you notice the greenery in this room is camouflage for a spore carrier. Draw 1 weapon, either keep the item and leave, or throw the weapon at the carrier as a distraction and grab the box to draw 2 potential armors. I'll take a weapon, although I don't have the deck ready, so we'll need to do that at deployment after we hear what we're doing today. Oh, I forgot before we see what we're doing today, we first have to pick what's coming with us and staying behind. So I have a pre-made, curated Wasteland deck that I've had sitting for the last little while. We haven't really had much opportunities to loot, so I'm just going to shuffle it real quick. We're going to cut it and draw it until we find it has to be a weapon specifically. Did it specifically say gun? No, I think it did just say a weapon. So unfortunately we found another machete, which isn't great. So we need to take 5 things and we can store 5 things. We're definitely taking the hunter's hunting rifle. We're definitely taking the sturdy metal armor. I think that might be important. Power armor wise, I don't think we need to take both sets this time. The incendiary assault rifle won't go wrong, so that's 3 of 5. The laser rifle would be a good idea, and that would leave room for the T60. So we'll take the T60. So that's our 5 things up the top there. We can store 5 things. We'll store the hunting rifle. We'll store the... I don't think we really need the 3-piece suit, to be honest. We're definitely storing the other power armor. We're storing the bottle cap mine. We have room for 2 more things. We'll keep the Ripper. I don't really care about the beer and bourbon and whatnot. So I guess we'll keep the 3-piece suit because another machete... Well, there is a reason to keep a machete. It's not too bad. It's probably better than the lead pipe some people are using. Although the pipe wrench, I mean, is 2 base damage with an armor break die. 1 with potentially more. I'll keep that. Yeah, we'll keep that. So these 3 are going back into the decks. Quest 7. Another worthy foe. A win will result in 300 caps, but a loss will result in a loss of 300 caps. More than one person rolled their eyes when Grognak proclaimed that he had heard of another foe he deemed worthy of his time and set out to find it without another word. The Brotherhood of Steel won't even entertain the thought of helping him if it isn't supermutant related, so it's down to the settlement to keep him alive once again. So you will have just seen the quest overview. Yes, Grognak has got us into a big spot of bother once again. In fact, you don't even know the half of it yet. Wait until you see deployment. But first, the team that's getting brought today, the Free Tech, is staying behind in New Hope. We have the Sole Survivor with Dogmeat and Pennyworth, of course. No upgrades to them. I was going to give him the metal armor, but actually his base physical defense is the same as the metal armor, so he doesn't need it. Not Sturgis, aka John, he's been given the incendiary assault rifle just to have a longer range option compared to his 44. We have the Scavenger, who's going to be not this model, he's going to get changed out into the T60 power armor, and he's been given the laser rifle. And then finally the Settler, she's been given the Hunter's hunting rifle, and she's been given the sturdy metal armor, which boosts her physical defense from 1 up to 3. So hopefully that'll make the difference. So I'll get this set up at deployment, and then we'll cover the specifics for what we're doing today and whether or not we're going to be able to win. So here we are all set up, and let's go over the horrifying specifics. There is only 4 enemies of the creature faction on the table for us to deal with today, and the criteria for victory is to have them all dead by turn 5, or the end of turn 5. There is 2 rad scorpions, one right there hidden behind the rubble, one over there amongst the barrels, and there is 2 death claws. Grognak managed to find himself not 1 but 2 death claws. The Soul Survivor and Dogmeat ran on ahead, sensing the danger or perhaps recognising the roar. They're pretty savvy about the dangers of the Wasteland. They have engaged the other death claw. Now, in both cases they probably won't win, although that said I think Grognak is more caps than a death claw by like 10 or something. Either way though, the goal is not that they have to survive those combats, it's just they're hopefully going to soften the Deathclaws up enough that everyone else who has deployed down here in the corner, right down here, deliberately quite far away because they got here a little bit slower, making it an easier job for them eventually finishing them off. Now you'll notice there's 2 item cards here. That is both of Grognak's weapons. I don't know which is which. We're going to roll a die and pick one that he is throwing to the Soul Survivor because he's pleased that he's being brave and fighting alongside him. That's also going to give us an actual chance. So we'll say 1 to 3, 4 to 6. Okay, so he tosses his sword to the Soul Survivor, who is automatically equipping it, and we'll use it in combat. First turn of the game, we will roll for who goes first here, and that will dictate the state of play. So for instance, if the survivors go first, Grognak charges in, then the Deathclaw hits him back, then the Soul Survivor goes in, Deathclaw hits him back, then Dogmeat could activate, doesn't necessarily need to, and we do the normal cycling for there, and Grognak is equipped with his axe. So with that, if they hit as good as they did last time, then we won't have any problems, I think. But I'm not sure who that was that made up my team last time. I'm pretty sure it was a bunch of synths. Anyway, let's play. So I should have done the roll on camera, apologies, I did not, but it was the Settlers who won the roll off, so Grognak has charged in. But a couple of things I didn't mention in the setup or make clear. These fights going on between the Deathclaws and my Soul Survivor and Grognak, they are ignored by everyone for the purposes of skill tests and for the purposes of joining in. The Rad Scorpions aren't going to join in, and neither can my Settlers. They can't shoot into combat. The combats have to resolve one way or the other, so Grognak has to kill the Deathclaw, at which point he would be fair game for everyone, or vice versa. The Deathclaw knocks him out, then that Deathclaw can be targeted by everyone. And also I didn't point out that there is a couple of, well, 4 consumable, or pickupables rather, just in case the Settlers need something to do on the off chance they shoot as well as they did last time, and take out the Rad Scorpions much quicker than I anticipate, because the Rad Scorpions are pretty tough. We've not seen them on the table before yet. Anyway though, Grognak, he's charging in, hitting the Deathclaw that's about to hit him back. He rolls a bunch of dice. The axe gives him 3, 7 plus strength gives him a 4th, green is his charge bonus, and he has luck if he needs it to try and test for a -2. This is on 7th. That's a crit, okay, now we're talking. 2 armor break. It's only 1 base damage on the axe though, so that is 3 altogether. I knew I was forgetting something, I forgot the armor die. Let's bring that over real quick. So Deathclaws are 3 plus 1, so that's down to 1 plus 1. Nope, so they only block 1 damage, and it took 2, and he generated himself an extra crit point, so that's actually 2. So as stated, that Deathclaw is now going to strike Grognak back. No charge bonus because he's already been engaged, but he does get to strike twice. For the Deathclaw swipe, it's 2 yellows and a blue, but he's strength 12 I think, so he gets an extra black die for being 7 plus. He's only hitting on, I think it's 6s? No, 5s. Yeah, their chance to hit isn't great. But in every action which they can see someone, they start building up to doing a crush, which is a much harder hit. So it takes 3 actions. So that'll be next turn he does it. Either way, that's a miss for his first one. Oh yeah, on the bottle, if he gets a bottle, that is a stun on either the yellow or the blue die. 8 comes down by nothing. He actually missed twice. That is very lucky. So, but he is still primed 2, and he's so he will still, when he primes a 3rd hit, do that big crush attack. That's pretty scary. Well, here's hoping the Soul Survivor has as much luck as Grognak did to start with. He's charging into the other Deathclaw, and then it becomes normal turn rotation after the Deathclaw hits him back. So, he is strength 7+, so he gets an extra black die thrown in. The sword that Grognak gave him is yellow plus 2 green, and the other black is his charge bonus, because he already has 2 greens, so seems like the best option. He is hitting on 7s. That is a 9, comes down to an 8. Not quite good enough, unfortunately. It would have done 3 damage with 2 armor break. Would have been pretty good, but no, he missed. And it's the same deal for the Deathclaw hitting him back. So on 5s, oh, black die for strength, forgot that. 5s, 8 comes down to 7, not good enough, which is just as well, because that would have been 4 damage. And the other attack, that is good enough. 2 armor break, but only base damage. It does, however, do the stun, so 1 action next turn for the Soul Survivor, which sucks. But that is base 2 damage versus his armor of, well, normally 3, so unfortunately it's come down to 1. Which he blocked, plus his super armor, so he actually absorbed all the damage, but that's his super armor gone now. So since Dogmeat is not bound by the rules I've issued for this quest, it would mean that he could technically be charged by scorpions and such. So I charged him in first, which means the scorpions are going to move on my settlers first as well, which probably doesn't matter, it'll give them line of sight if nothing else. So he gets a charge bonus of a black die and a green extra thrown in because of outnumbering the Deathclaw, and they need to back each other up. You know, I wasn't taking, oh no, Grognak's right there, so he couldn't have taken his Soul Survivor bonuses into effect. He hits for 2 extra damage. The bottle cap does, would have cancelled prepares, but that is 4 damage versus the full 3+1 armor. He only blocked 1, so he just took 3 damage. That's really good. The leftmost Rad Scorpion activated, and their AI card is basically nothing but aggressively attacks, except if you roll a star or a double star when they have 3+ health, that wants them to fall back via burrowing and getting out of line of sight as best as possible, which they do in the video game, so it makes sense. So he backs up, and he is now hiding behind those rocks, so there's no chance I'll be seeing him this turn. So of the group of 4 down here, I activate Pennyworth, and I didn't even do a full move with him because he does move red. He fell short of the maximum range. That's because I'm trying to bait out the other Rad Scorpion charging him. They ignore line of sight for charges, they have a charge distance of blue, so he could easily make it after a move. So I'm hoping that he also does not fall back, because otherwise it's a waste of a turn for me. And obviously the AI doesn't realise this, but if they just keep me chasing them, they will win easily. So hopefully it'll roll attack, I guess we'll see. Well, this is why I shouldn't say things before rolling dice. Rolled double stars, so it also wanted to fall back. It can't really get, well, it could have technically gone even further away, but that just seemed like I'd have no chance. So he's hiding behind the scenery that he started next to even more now, so it's not likely I'm going to be able to get any shots on him, which does mean that basically these 3 here can just move up and get into positions next turn, try and bait out a charge through this, because again they don't need line of sight, and the scavenger kind of wants to fight in melee, especially with the power armor on. So I guess I'll just move these 3 and then we'll show where they ended up, and that will already be the end of the first turn just because the Rad Scorpions decided to run away. Yep, so simple enough, all 3 of them just moved up double yellow to the positions you can see right now. If nothing else, it might give them time to go snatch up some items, so it might not be all bad. And on that note, the Deathclaws didn't do anything to Grognak, the Soul Survivor. They managed to do a little bit of damage to them, which is great, although next turn they're going to be doing their big attacks, the scary ones, the Deathclaw Crushes. So we'll see how that goes once we draw the event. I was going to say I hope we get something positive from this, but I'm not really sure there is any. Maybe the one where the Brahmin is running around? Let's see. Super Mutant Broadcast, an unattended radio plays. Humans, if out there and need help, we help you. Come to Shaw School Place. We promise not to tear you limb from limb and eat you. And then the Super Mutant asks, but I want to eat human meat. Yes, I know you do. Look, I'm reading this exactly like you wanted, remember? It's a trick. You're trying to trick them. AKA, nothing. So as we start turn 2, Grognak is swinging, and as long as he lands a hit, he will generate a crit and do his crit next. But he has to swing that axe first of all. 3 base plus 1 extra black die thrown in for him being strength 7+. No charge bonus this time though. Potentially a ridiculous amount of damage, but he has to land the hit. He does. Only gets 2 extra damage. Does the bottle cap do anything? Not on a normal hit, sadly. So that is just 2 damage, but it does generate a crit. 2 against 3 plus 1. Only the plus 1 carries, so that is 1 more damage. Just slowly chipping away at his. So that's actually both death claws equal now. Let's just put that there. So now he needs to crit. So it's the same dice again, but the crit throws in 2 yellows. Now apparently you're not supposed to count everything together when you do a crit. As in you would just do the 1 damage plus the black dice plus 2 yellows. You wouldn't add the base damages together. 1, that's not how I read the rulebook, and 2, that's boring. And 3, in the video game it does extra damage by default. So I'm doing both together. So base damage is now 2. It won't matter if he misses though. He doesn't. The bottle cap on a crit breaks their leg. I'm not sure what that does really. The arm is -2 to skill. I think that'll probably just affect their charge radius. Breaks all his regular damage, armor, sorry, and does 2 extra damage. So that in total is 4 damage versus 1 plus 1. So he does block 2, so he blocks that, and takes 2 more. So that death claw is now up to 5 damage, but it is striking back, and once it strikes, whether it hits or not, because it's a priming weapon, it's different to a crit, he is going to do a death claw crush afterwards, but that's after 1 basic swipe. Incidentally, the death claw crush includes a pick up and throw sort of mechanic. He will get thrown if it hits, but I wish this was a pit rather than like a raised area, but don't have anything that would do as a pit. So he will get thrown away, but he will not leave this bit of scenery. Same with the Soul Survivor. Anyway, 5s. 7 comes down to a 6, that's a miss. So for a Deathclaw Crush, because that's it fully primed now, it gets 3 yellow dice, 1 black die because of the strength he has, and oh, you have to calculate something different for what you need to roll for this. Sorry, I just remembered at the last second, it's not just a straight roll. Close combat action to do crush. Skill value is the Deathclaw's strength minus the target's agility. So the Deathclaw's strength is 11. Grognak's agility is 7, which is pretty high actually. So it's 4s. 7, it's a miss. Now do you still do the rest if it misses? I presume not, because he would get dazed and thrown yellow. But because it missed, I'm going to presume not. So that's a miss. Okay. And before this one gets to crush him, the Soul Survivor is activating, only attacking once because he's stunned. Green die from outnumber bonus, black die from strength, and it's on 6s. 7s, sorry, 7s. That is a hit for 1 extra damage, so that's 3 damage. 1 armor break means it's against 2 plus 1. He blocks 2, takes 1 damage. Now these two have been getting very, very lucky with the death claws missing. Let's see if that continues. A swipe followed by a crush. That's a hit. Yeah, I shouldn't jinx myself. That's 3 armor. His armor is entirely broken. Does the star do anything on a base attack? No, it's just the bottle cap. So that is 2 damage straight through to him. Just like that. Let's just get that. And now he is getting the death claw crush. So that's a black die for the strength. 3 yellow dice. That blew out of there. And, oh right, strength is 11 minus agility of 5. Alright, well, that's slightly easier for him to hit on a 6. Let's do this. That's a hit. Double armor break. That was not an armor. Double armor break. He has 1 armor left. Nope. So it's base 3 damage. So that is 4 damage. 5, 6. Is he dead? No, he has 1 health left. He gets chucked yellow to the edge of the arena in which they're fighting. And he has 1 health left. Again, I really shouldn't jinx my people when they're doing well. Well, I'm going to go with dog meat, and without his owner in that combat, he's just rolling the default dice for a dog bite. So, here we go. It's on 6s. Okay, that's a crit for 1 armor break, and that means it's 2 plus 1. He blocks all the damage, and then we do it again on 6s. It's a hit again. The stars don't do anything, so it's just the 2 damage versus 3 plus 1. He blocks it all. That's rough, and that was an accidental pun. Well, finally one of the rad scorpions wants to come out and play. The one up there that hid behind the rock first turn has moved twice, not getting into charge radius for anyone that is attackable right now, because again he's not allowed to enter. We should refer to this as the arena. It's quite epic what's going on in there, I'm sure. But that at least gives my settlers and whatnot something to shoot at. And on that note, let's do it. On that note, the settler is going to activate and crack out that hunter's hunting rifle, which gets an extra black die against creatures, which every enemy on the table is, to shoot a short range shot at that scorpion that just moved into range. Short range means she substitutes the 2 green it normally gets for 2 yellow, which is just as well. These are armor break dice, and Rad Scorpions have 3 armor and 6 health, so pretty nasty to get through, honestly. She's hitting on 6s, so on that note, let's see what happens. That's a crit for 2 extra damage, no armor break though, so that's 4 damage versus 3 armor. She did 1. Oh, I'll take 1. Well, that's better than nothing. There we go. Okay, 1 damage, and then she'll shoot again. Can't complain about her actually doing damage. Although last time she was hitting her shots much better. That one's a miss. Okay, fair enough. The other Red Scorpion activated and it wants to be aggressive. It has the burrow and senses rules, so it doesn't need line of sight to initiate a charge and it just goes underground. You played the video game, you know how they act. So it's popping out right near and is charge bonus, or taking a charge bonus of a green along with its normal, what is it called? It's called like bite plus claws or something. 2 yellow and a blue, and it has the chance to poison. Hitting on, I'm going to need to double check, I think it's 6s. Yep, 6s. That is a 6, comes down to a 5 anyway. The star doesn't do anything, so that's just the flat 2 damage versus his power armor though of 3 plus 1. So he blocks 2. Well, actually it would have been 2 plus 1 because of the armor break, sorry, but either way he blocked it all. Well, it's just my activations now, so let's go with the scavenger and have him hit back with his pipe wrench. He would normally just be the yellow die, but the power armor puts him at 7 strength, so he gets a black die thrown in, and he is hitting with his strength stat, which is again boosted by the power armor, which makes it so good, so he's hitting on 7s. And he rolls a 9. Let's try that again, shall we? That's more like it. Okay, he breaks 1 armor, does 1 extra damage, so that's 3 damage against 2 armor. Well, he's doing at least 1 damage. As it turns out, he is doing 2 damage. That's fine, that's good. Well, I'm going to have Pennyworth charge in and give the scavenger a hand. Taking a black die has his charge bonus and green die for outnumbering. Let's see if his buzzsaw can cut into some scorpion flesh under that thick hide. He needs a 6. Easily gets it with a crit, so that's 3 damage versus 3 armor. He blocks 1 and takes 2. Well, John's the last one to go, and although he has that incendiary assault rifle, I think I'm just going to shoot the 44 because that scorpion is in range. And it's double yellow for armor break, and I think armor break is really important. Not just against them, against the Deathclaws, if/when they have to deal with them. So thanks to his speciality with this, it is up to a 6. That's a crit fail. Let's try again. That's a hit, 1 armor break, 2 damage versus 2 armor. Doesn't block any of it and takes 2, so that's that one up to 3 damage. He's on half health. We made some good forward progress there thanks to the Red Scorpions actually coming into range. Well, I can't wait to see how the Grognak Deathclaw and Soul Survivor Deathclaw fights are going to go, so let's get into the next turn. Here's our event, Helios 1, the first range attack each model takes this turn suffers a -2 penalty. I'll try to remember this time, I never do. Thankfully in most cases it's not going to matter, because there's only 2 people who are going to be shooting at most. But either way, we'll try and remember. Turn 3 of 5 starts with our barbarian friend attacking with his axe, extra die for strength again, and he needs to do some damage. Well, that's a good start. That is 3 damage, because it's only base 1 on the axe, against 2 plus 1. So he actually does fully block it, unfortunately. That's okay. Next hit is a crit, so that's him actually fully generate a crit for next turn. And this time it's 3 damage versus 2 plus 1 again. Aha! So he only blocks the 1 with his super armor, so he took 2. So that's him up to 7 of his 13 health. And now the strike back for the Deathclaw, building up again to another crush, although it's not going to be next turn. So, that is 4 armor break against poor Grognak, although actually it doesn't hit. Never mind, it doesn't hit. That particular Deathclaw, not the other one, that one, has been doing really rubbish with landing his hits. I say as he lands a hit, but that's base damage, so that's okay. That is 2 damage versus Grognak's armor of, I think it's 2 plus 1 when he's getting hit in melee. I'll double check in a second. Well, it doesn't matter. His base armor was enough to block it. And the Soul Survivor's been hanging around Grognak too much. 1 HP left. He's just charging in, taking a black die for the charge, green die extra for Dogmeat being in combat already. Let's see if he can do it on 7s. He did it. Only 1 extra damage though, so that's 3 plus 3 against 3 plus 1. It is 3 plus 1, isn't it? Yep, it is. So unfortunately, because there's no armor break, he did fully block it. Alright, let's see if the Deathclaw finishes off the poor Soul Survivor. 6 comes down to a 5. That is a hit. 1 armor break for 3 damage. He can't block it because he's got 2 armor left, but let's just roll anyway. wouldn't have blocked any. So he is out of there. Grognak got him into trouble yet again. But the Deathclaw did take 4 damage, and Dogmeat might be able to do something. I guess we'll see. Oh wait, the Deathclaw has another attack. Which he would do on Dogmeat, because there's no other target. It's just ready to move on to Dogmeat's turn there. But no, there's another attack. Robin gets another shot. Nope, that is a miss, a crit fail. Alright, Dogmeat doing 2 standard dog bites on 6s. 2 armor breaks, that's 1+1 against 2. He fully blocks it. This one is really, really tanky compared to the other one. That's a 6, comes down to a 5, 1 armor break, 2 versus 2+1. Fully blocks it. Ah. The Red Scorpion engaged in close combat, activated first of the other 2 of them. Incidentally, the Soul Survivor's Deathclaw is now free game. Anyone can shoot at it. So, 6s against the power armor, that's a hit. Will it poison on a bottle cap? It does poison, but presumably it needs to do damage first. So that's 2 versus 3+1. Oh, he only blocks 1, so he takes 1 and is poisoned. And then let's see the other hit. I also need to double check what poisoned actually does, because I don't remember. That's 1 damage there, and that is a hit for 2 armor, poisoned again. So that's 1+1 armor. Nope, blocks 1, takes 1, so let's just get rid of that 1 marker and put it 2, and he is poisoned. Well, I'm going to go with the Settler because the other Rad Scorpion is going to get into close combat with her, so let's try and do some damage with that Hunter's Hunting Rifle before that happens. That's a big fat nope with the first shot, and the second shot is a hit. Okay, hang on. Okay, this is better. 2 armor break plus a total of 3 damage, so 3 versus 1 armor in total. Doesn't block any of it. Took 3. It just died. Goodbye, Mr. Rad Scorpion. Things are coming up Millhouse. That's both her actions though, so she's done, but that's perfect because they're going to have to start shooting at least 1 Deathclaw real quick. Oh, the poisoned means that he's going to take 1 damage every time he activates. Don't have anything that cures it, so it's just going to keep going, which means he's going to lose his power armor next turn. So the Scavenger's taken 1 more damage. As I say, his power armor has 1 health left, so let's try and do something good with it. The green die is from Codsworth, how dare I use that name, Pennyworth being there. Black die from the power armor still boosting his strength to 7, and he's hitting with that too. So that is a hit, 1 armor break, 3 damage in total versus 2 armor. He blocks 2, takes 1, so that's him up to 5. He has 1 health left. They might have a chance. We're going to have 2 turns to kill 2 Deathclaws. What could possibly go wrong? He has 1 more hit. Same dice again. He hits. 3 damage versus 2 armor. Blocks 2, takes 1. Oh, right, we didn't need to roll that. Goodbye, Mr. Other Rad Scorpion. Thank you for playing. You poisoned my dude, but now you're dead. So I've got 2 people left to activate, John and Pennyworth. Just going to move them now because there's nothing to shoot at. They can't see the Deathclaw. So John moved up here, ending next to that item to flip it over. Same with Pennyworth there. So we're just going to flip these now, see what they are, and resolve them. That's an item plus a danger, and that is just an item. Alright, I'll be back in a second once I look at the danger deck. Alright, deck's looked out, but let's see what they found first. We'll just cut this here and see Pennyworth has found a fragmentation mine. Big meh on that one. And we'll say John has found bolt action pipe rifle. Ugh, also kind of bad. Well, you know, and the danger card for John is rigged to blow. The booby trap springs into life, but it may still be possible to deactivate it. Test. Does he have that skill? He does, on an 8. Sure, what could possibly go wrong? He passes. What happens if he passes? No effect. Okay, he lived. Huzzah. Did I once again forget Helios 1 when the Settler fired at the Rad Scorpion? Yes, I did. Thank you for noticing. Anyway, into the next turn. Rad Storm. Ugh. Okay, at the end of every round whilst in play, 2 random models are hit by lightning. Wait, that's not... That's the text for the Lightning Storm, not the Rad Storm. Although it is doing radiation damage, so I guess it still counts. It's just the same rules. Okay, we'll try and remember that as well. No promises. Well, turn 4 starts with Grognak. And, oh, he had a crit built up, didn't he? So, actually, he's going to be critting with 2 extra yellow dice for this first roll. Actually, I also forgot crits just hit. That's the other part I forgot. But the previous crit still landed anyway. But yeah, this is just rolling the effect dice for the crit then. So, it is 1 armor break with broken leg. The Deathclaw's not going anywhere, so it doesn't really matter. 1 extra damage, so in total that is 3 versus 2 plus 1. Only the plus 1, so that negates that essentially. And he takes 2, which is pretty good. So that's him at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, getting there. And then those go away. And he's doing an actual strike this time that has to land. Please land. Good enough. 2 armor break, 1 extra damage. So that's 2 damage versus 2 plus 1. He fully blocks it. And Grognak will be getting Deathclaw crushed after this initial attack, whether it hits or not, and it doesn't. So that goes away, becomes another yellow die. Base damage goes up to 3. And it's, oh, what was it for him? It was strength minus agility, so it's 4. And that's a crit fail, so he's not getting pushed back either. That Deathclaw has been doing so bad compared to the other one. Speaking of the other Deathclaw, that is now just a normal enemy due to being freed from the trial by combat with the Soul Survivor. So he doesn't get to activate at a certain time. He will be randomized. Well, no, wait, he's only other enemy on the map. So he will be going after one of my activations, normal activations. Dogmeat doing double bite because he's about to get eaten by a Deathclaw. That is a swing and a miss. The other one, that's a hit for, okay, it breaks 3. He's only got 1 armor, so he's at least taking 1 damage. He is taking, well, 1 damage, yeah, because he has 1 super armor, and it was 2 flat damage, yeah. So 1 more damage to him. That puts that Deathclaw at 5. So I think this Deathclaw also is about to prime a crush after this. That's a hit, though, for taking away 1 armor of Dogmeat. 1 armor. He does block 1 and takes 1. Oh, no, his super armor hasn't been used yet. So, actually, it just absorbs it. But then he gets crushed. Oh, there was supposed to be a black die thrown in there. Okay, 2 extra damage means he does take 2 damage. Forgot about that. Apologies. There we go. Now it is 3 yellow dice, 3 base damage with the black die. Oop. His strength is 11, minus Dogmeat's agility of 6. So it's 5s. He misses. Very lucky for the doggo. So these last 2 turns are going to go super quick because we're just down to my guys now, but it's a case of can they kill 2 Deathclaws in the time limit I imposed. John's going to fire at long range with the Incendiary Assault Rifle into the combat with Dogmeat because the other one is not valid yet, and is with +2 hitting on 6s. So he does hit for 1 armor break. 1 and 3 will be the Deathclaw. Yep, he is hitting the Deathclaw, so that is 2 plus 1 damage. So does that set him on fire? It does! Nice! That's very helpful. He unfortunately blocked all the damage, but I believe the burning still goes through because it was a successful hit. And that was the first shot. Second shot. Roman gets another shot. That is a hit. 1 and 3 is the Deathclaw. He is hitting the Deathclaw. 2 extra damage would have set him on fire again, I think. No, that just that does nothing for this gun. But that is down to 2 plus 1 armor, 4 damage. He blocked 2, took 2. So he's on fire. And that's him up to 7 damage. Not too bad. Alright, we can quickly cover 2 of my 3 activations. The Settler, just moving up twice because there's not enough room there for her and John to shoot through that window there. And she was not quite close enough to search here. Pennyworth, though, moved around the corner, moved here, and he can search this. It's a danger plus an item, and I went and put the danger deck away thinking what could possibly go wrong. Well, we'll look that out and then also move the Scavenger, whose power armor is now broken as well. So I'm just going to remove that armor because the 4th point will remove it. Thankfully, he still gets the strength bonus from it, though. So that's where the Scavenger ended up. I'm going to quickly just take 1 shot with him at long range into the combat there with his laser rifle because I expect this to miss. Yep, that's what I thought. Okay, let's finish resolving this. Danger card is Rotten Meat Bags. I'm pretty sure Pennyworth is immune to poison, so we'll just take the poison and say thanks very much. And the item he found is a silencer mod. Firing the weapon doesn't cause triggers, damage caused still triggers as normal. Low priority, I would say, but we can use it thanks to the Soul Survivor having the armory perk. Alright, first things first, we need to resolve the Radstorm. Pennyworth and one of the Deathclaws was picked. Deathclaws take no damage from radiation, so there's no point rolling it, and oh, actually, neither do robots. On that note, though, apparently robots do get poisoned. There's only 1 turn left, so it's not going to matter. So, but yeah, we need to roll to see if this gets put in, stays in play. It actually doesn't. It gets discarded. Fair enough. So, for the final turn then, Churned Land. First movement, each models do at ground level or is treated as difficult, so 1 range shorter. Probably won't matter. Let's see. Well, Grognak at the start of the final turn really needs to either die or do really well. Let's see. Oh! Okay. Well, that's 4 damage versus 2 plus 1. So only 1 gets blocked and he just did 3 damage. So we can turn one of those 2s to 5. Apologies for the distracting noise there. So that's 12. Wait, did they have 12 or 13 health? I think they have 13. No, they have 12. He killed it. He actually killed it. Be gone, Deathclaw number 1. And that frees him. Now technically he could charge in, but that just makes it much more likely that everyone shooting will shoot at him. So he's instead going to walk away. Well, it would be shorter range because of that effect. So he's going to walk up there, hoping that Dogmeat gets killed. You know, actually he could probably disengage, but that other Deathclaw activates first. So our Deathclaw chum here engaged with Dogmeat is activating the final enemy on the table. First of all, he takes 1 damage from the fire which I've placed. Does the fire go out on an X? It does not. He stays on. Well, there's no other turn, so it doesn't really matter, but just for a matter of note, let's roll for it. He is clawing at the dog. That's a hit. Breaks all his armor. 1 damage extra. That's 3 damage to Dogmeat, so he has 1 health left. Honestly, to give me the best shot at this, he needs to go down. Thank you. That's all his armor broken. You did the thing. Well done. Dogmeat got punted off the table like that. And now it just comes down to, can these 4 do however much damage he has? What is he at? 5, 6, 7, 8? He's got 4 health left. So of those 4, I'm going to go with the Settler first, which does mean she's going to ignore the item there because it's not a priority. We've got enough trash as it is. She is in short range of that Deathclaw. It's the range blue there. And that means she's rolling the armor piercing dice, the yellows, instead of throwing in the greens. I think that's giving her her best shot. Black die because it's the hunter's hunting rifle against a creature. Hang on. 6s, of course. Nope. That is a big fail to start with. And then, that's a hit. Okay, that's 2 armor breaks, so he's at 1 plus 1. No. So he did take 1 damage. Okay. That's chipping away at the health he has remaining, so he's got 3 health left. Sean's going to have to use the incendiary assault rifle from where he is. So he's going to shoot it twice, long range, into the Deathclaw. Unfortunately hitting on 4s. Oh, well we hit. Nothing extra. It doesn't matter if it sets him on fire or not, so it's just 2 damage versus 3 plus 1. Blocks it fully. And that's a hit. Would have set him on fire against 2 plus 1. No, so he did 1 damage. Again, I guess I have to take it. So, oh, that puts him at 10 in total, so we can just flip that 2 over. So he does have 2 health remaining, and I've got Pennyworth and the Scavenger, who's no good at shooting, left to try and do it with. Great. Well, this has come down to the wire. The Scavenger is in short range. Oh, actually, short range. What am I doing? I picked up the dice for long range. That is a black plus a blue, not a yellow plus a blue. That's honestly potentially worse. Although it is energy damage, so if he does manage to hit, which isn't likely, it's against 2 plus 1 armor, I think. Nope, still 3 plus 1, so it's just flat out worse. That's a big miss. That's a hit for 1 extra damage. There's a chance, I guess. That's 3 damage, 3 energy damage, 3 plus 1 armor. 1 plus 1 he defends against 2, he takes 1. He has 1 health left. Pennyworth has to do 1 damage or this technically counts as a fail even though Grognak did kill his worthy foe. So I moved Pennyworth up, but sadly I've realised there's literally no way he can do 1 damage to the Deathclaw because he only rolls a blue dice with his Mr. Handy Flamer. Actually, you know what? It is technically possible because if he gets a bottle cap he breaks 1 piece of armour. Never mind, he's getting 1 roll. I thought it was literally impossible for him to break the armour. He has to get a bottle cap and hit. 8 is a miss. Would it have mattered? No. Would have fully blocked it anyway. Now, it's a bit of an awkward situation because we've clearly won this and I just kind of arbitrarily picked 5 turns. And Grognak did win his fight and they definitely will do 1 damage to it. In fact, they don't even need to. It rolls around to a theoretical turn 6. The fire finishes the Deathclaw off. So, in a bit of a controversial decision, I'm going to call this one a win. Grognak did his goal, and I feel like the fire is enough to say we have won. We technically didn't based on the criteria I picked on 5 turns, but I hope you'll agree that we did the deed, so we should count it as a win. So Grognak happily walks away from this one, not severely irradiated, not in need of medical attention, or at least not much. Not 300 caps worth, so we actually are going to gain 300 caps. He did his thing. If he'd fallen to his Deathclaw, I still probably would have gone by it counting as a loss, but the fact that he won, I think this is a better result. So now we move on to the rest of the season, and other than the big finale, which is in 4 episodes time, there will be a vote in the community tab on the channel for whether or not Brotherhood Reliance is taken. I'll give a brief overview of what the next quest is, and you can decide based on that whether it sounds like New Hope needs help or not. There is consequences one way or the other, depending on whether or not help is taken. So with that, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one, and please do remember to subscribe if you want to see more. There'll be another one next Friday, all going well. I could be recording it while you're hearing me talk right now. And if you want to support what we do, consider pressing the thanks button, becoming a member, or checking out the Patreon. All the money is reinvested in the channel. Hope you had fun. Oh, actually, you know what? I just remembered we didn't go over what we're taking home with us. We have to take back all the gear we were using. So that's the plasma, the laser rifle, the power armor, the metal armor. The 2 uniques come back automatically. So we have room for 2 more, and we found nothing but junk. You know what? Let's do this, because I totally forgot to do this step. Let's take the silenced mod and the bolt action pipe rifle. That's what we'll take back. They'll probably end up getting dumped next time anyway, but that's what we'll take. So with that, now we can properly say thank you for watching. Ta-ta for now.